Perfect.
Look at that.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast of More Than Missionary. We are your hosts, Christina.
And Ashley.
Hello, hello. Today we are doing a minisode.
A minisode?
A minisode, is that what we should call them? Minisodes?
Is that what people call them?
I don't know, that's what I'm calling it. If they aren't, they should.
You want to start the trend?
Yes, and we're going to be talking about something that we had brought up not too long ago when we were smoking the adult broccoli, and it was like, wow, we should talk about this on the pod. It's like, great idea. But we wanted to talk about everybody seems to cry in their car about some dusty ass person.
Yes.
In their life.
I feel okay. So I was talking to my girlfriends earlier, as I told you, on the phone, because I was said girl earlier, crying in my car over some man.
Over a man.
Over a man.
Damn it! Not again.
Not again. No, but I think like I can't speak on anybody else, but I feel like across the board, or we were saying that every heterosexual woman has sat in their car and cried over a man before.
Oh my god, yeah. Have you ever, like, screamed in your
Yes.
car over, like, the BS?
Scream cried?
Scream
Yes.
cry, where you
I've
just
done
gotta
that.
get it all out of your system. Yeah, I absolutely. Like, I would say, like, every person, every girl, female, lady that I know in my life has absolutely cried over, if they're hetero at least, cry over the BS dusty man in their life. And like, you know, some dusty men can really they can turn out to be better than dusty.
They can grow from the dust.
But some men cannot, okay? And just I don't want to offend anybody here, but this is going to be kind of offensive. Like, these dusty men out here are treating our ladies like shit.
Yes.
And I feel like since we've all collectively had this, bullshit happen to us, it kind of seems like we need to, the standards are low, guys. Yeah. The standards are low. We need to raise the standards for these dusty men, because there's no reason why we should be crying in the car over these dusty men, but
and like you said,
here we are.
It happens to even the men that need to grow.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're capable of changing and you're capable of growing from those incidents, that's one thing.
Listen, I'm very lucky. Okay, my husband is a great person. We have both grown. But when we first met, we were both dusty, okay? And
she said, I cried in my car.
I cried in my car over him when we just couldn't figure stupid shit out. And it's like, I'm so glad that him and I have grown as people, and that we've grown into the lovely individuals that we are. But I have absolutely not him. I cried over stupid, like when I was in high school, the stupidest reasons over some dusty guy I met in my class.
Because I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Recently, actually. I hate when people say, or like parents especially, when they're like, oh, it's your first relationship. It doesn't mean anything. You're going to have 10 more after this. You're going to...
Wrong.
Why do we cheapen first loves?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Why do we do that? Like, why, as a society, though, why do we cheapen our first loves?
It's like, I feel like like parents, I feel like will say that because even though they've went through it and like time has gone on and whatever, it still hurts, and it hurts a lot.
I also believe that those are your formative years.
Yes, and it defines a lot of how you handle your future relationships too. Like, if your first relationship you get, cheated on or whatever, you're gonna be wary of like every relationship going forward. And it, especially when it happens during your formative years, like in high school, middle school, high school, whatever, like whatever. People date in middle school, sometimes they date in high school, whatever. I was a square, I didn't date till I was in college, but that is beside the fact. you know, during these formative years, these first time relationships, feelings, crushes, whatever they are that you're going through at the time, it will define how you kind of move forward after that. And then deconstructing some of the trauma and hurt that came from that, maybe that first love relationship that ended, regardless if it ended amicably or not, it's still, you still are going to take away a lot of lessons.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I remember my first relationships. Ooh, I'm gonna call people out here.
Yeah.
My first relationship, it was very toxic.
Yeah.
It was very toxic, and I am just now, like, with the help of lots of therapy and shadow work and all the things, and realizing that because of that first relationship, I am extremely addicted to a toxic cycle.
Yeah.
Like, I need the dramatics.
Yeah.
I need the big fights and the angry screaming at each other because, like, when I saw people in my life fight, that's how they fought.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm the same way.
And then my first relationship was like that. Yeah. So I felt like the love of happiness and joy and passion can't exist if you don't also have this toxic, angry aggression, people losing their shit over you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even with that though, it's you have to be so careful about accepting that your nervous system is most comfortable in a chaotic, toxic setting.
Absolutely.
You know, like our nervous systems are like, if you're constantly in a fight or flight, that becomes your normal.
Yeah. That becomes more comfortable than stillness.
Than stillness, yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not healthy. And we know it's not healthy, but we do it anyway because it's what our body is used to. It's like your body will remember your body's fight or flight response. Mm-hmm. If you have had relationship after relationship of toxicity or drama or things like that, or you, like you said, growing up in a household where your parents fought all the time or your guardians fought all the time or whatever, you know, that is, and that's what your body's most comfortable.
My parents didn't fight a lot. They never fought.
Really?
No.
Okay.
They never really fought. But when they did fight,
yeah,
it was a blowout.
It was a blowout fight.
It was a blowout fight. They would scream, they would yell, they would make a scene, but it was rare. It was so rare. But to me, that coincided, like, okay, well, if that's how, like, they communicate when things get hard, is they scream, they yell, they do all those things. Okay, well, that makes sense. Like, they really love each other. The passion is there.
Right.
And you know, I think that's also how it got explained away, right? Like, because when parents are trying to, like, talk to their kids about, like, you know, mommy and daddy are just really angry at each other, but we love each other so much, you know, but sometimes we just don't know what to do with all that anger and all that love, so we get loud. And, you know, it's a great way of trying to like, you know, explain away, you know, that type of thing to your kids. But I think as we get older, we're starting to learn that's not the best way to explain things away to our kids. It's better just to be honest that was not right.
Yeah. I have absolutely had that happen to me too, where, like, my parents would explain something away instead of just being like, hey, you know what? Like, I wish my parents were way more upfront with me about being, you know, imperfect people.
Yes.
You know.
Oh yeah.
It's like we are, you know, and that kind of going back to what we, you know, why we're starting this little mini-sode right now is, you know, allowing, like, dusty people don't work on themselves. Okay, yeah. You have to work on yourselves. You have to, like, deconstruct some of those bad communication styles. Like, that's a toxic communication style.
Yes.
Even I'm not, like, I do not know your parents. I have no idea who they are. I've met them maybe once, right? They seem like lovely individuals, but based off of what you just explained to me, at least from my experience with that, it's like you bottle these things up that you're upset about, and you might, and I don't know if this is the case for you, but, you know, like, you have a dumb argument, a blowout argument, and it could be about something stupid, like the dirty dish in the sink, but it's never actually about the dirty dish.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like, the real reason why you're upset with that person comes out, and then it becomes like this blowout argument because you've just bottled it up inside this whole time. So, like, I don't know if that's kind of what your experience was with that. Like, I definitely had that experience with growing up for me.
For sure. No, for sure, that definitely, I feel like it's still that sometimes.
Like, it's never about the dirty dish, though, and it's like you have to, and it's funny because when you grow up in a household like that, and then you become hypervigilant, right? You become very hyper aware of other people's emotional states.
We become our parents too, though.
Yeah, and that's like, to me, that's why I'm in therapy, because I don't want to become my parents, right?
Deconstructing.
As much as I love them.
Yeah. But I noticed that, like, I was doing it, like, in my previous relationship, I would just lose my shit over the dumbest of thing. And it wasn't because of that thing. It was because of the 30 other things before that thing. Yeah. That I had bottled up and just ate. Yeah. And I should have just said it. Yeah. And instead I just bottled it up and I was like, no, it's fine. I got it. Yeah. I got the laundry.
You just, like, you internalize it, and then
I got cleaning the floors. I got the dry cleaning. I got everything. And then that one sock on the floor, I was like, motherfucker. You just sock on the floor. How fucking dare you?
Yeah, and you just, like, blow up. And it's, I completely understand that. It's that's why communication is so important.
Yes.
It's so important. Oh, yeah. That's why you have to communicate, because that to the other person too. Like, all of a sudden now they're in defense mode, because, like, if you are upset about the sock on the floor, that's not really about the sock on the floor.
Everything else after that isn't going to be heard because you made such a big deal about the sock on the floor.
Because you made a big deal about the sock on the floor. Yep. Exactly. So that's why, journaling is big. Like, that's why I did. So you got to try to journal. Even though I'm not very consistent with it, it's still important. You got to organize your thoughts.
I know. We'll be working on that too.
We're trying our best. But if you think about it, a lot of people who grow up in those types of households, the amount of deconstruction work, it can be a lot. It's time consuming. Mm-hmm. It's why the bar, I think, is set so low for people. Yeah. I feel like, especially for men too, bottling up emotions. I mean, talk about, general, stigma with men is, you bottle up your emotions, and you be a man about it, and blah, 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 and all that BS. And not being able to, like, understand your emotions and, and then that's when, you blow up, you don't know how to communicate. Like, how many times have you talked to a guy, and then, like, they're immediately, like, you guys connect on, all these different levels, but then all of a sudden, the moment a situation arises where there's a disagreement, it's like they can't even explain to you why they're upset about it. They don't know how to, they don't have the tools in their toolbox to be able to explain their own emotional state.
Well, and I think a lot of us don't.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree.
I don't even think it's just men. I think a lot of us
don't. Yeah,
So no, I did this with a client of mine, actually, recently. She was real mad at her husband. Uh-huh. And she's like, I'm just so freaking angry with him. And I don't know why I'm angry. And I was like, baby girl, are you actually angry? I don't think you're angry. Why are you angry? Explain to me the situation. Yeah. So she started breaking it down. And I was like, you're not angry with him. You're not. You're jealous of him. You're jealous. Yeah. You're jealous that he got a lot of handouts. You're jealous that you have to work harder than him, or that you feel like you have to work harder than him. And you're jealous that he got an easier ride. Yeah. You're jealous. And you're frustrated that somebody won't do it for you. And you're frustrated with him because you want him to do it for you. But you're also not willing to communicate it. Yeah. I'm like, you're not angry. You're jealous and you're frustrated.
Interesting. And what was her, like, response?
She was so receptive. I'm very fortunate that I do well enough in my career where I'm kind of able to turn away clients that I don't vibe with anymore. So she's one of my clients that I'm able to be really real with her, and we're able to have these, like, real conversations. And she's like, oh my gosh, holy shit, I would have never thought about it that way. So her and I were talking about, like, at that point, problem-solving solutions. Like, okay, what do we do here? Like, how do we communicate with him? And I was like, you can't come with... She's like, and I've been such a dick to him lately. And she's like, and I'm like, and you don't know why? You don't know why you're angry? He can't fix it. Men Men are natural problem solvers.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
They're natural problem
My
solvers.
husband's
So
like
if you're angry and you're stomping around angry and they don't know why
Yeah.
you're angry, they don't know what to do to fix it.
Yeah, and it's like they'll start like,
and then they
panicking.
start pulling away
And
because
start-
they don't know how to fix it. They
Yeah.
don't know how to fix the problem. So I was like, you just need to tell him how to fix the problem. You tell him that I need support.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like communicating your needs. Like, you have to be like, I need you to just listen.
And what he decides to do with that information is up to him.
Yes.
He could easily turn around and not do anything.
Yeah.
Or he could choose to fix. Which, based on our conversations, he's a very good man.
Yeah.
And I know that he would choose to fix.
Correct. Yeah.
So, but that also goes back to raising our standards. We need to stop lowering our standards for men that are incapable of rising to the occasion when we give them the tools in their toolboxes.
Yes, yeah. Like, it's almost like, it's similar to like when you have that one friend that constantly complains about whatever they're complaining about, and you give them advice and they choose not to follow it, and then you need to set a boundary with them that's like, okay, like, I gave you some great solutions, and if you're choosing not to use those solutions, that's fine, but then I'm not going to continue on this conversation with you, right? Like,
I'm not going to waste my energy.
I'm not going to waste my energy. Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, that's why it is incredibly important that we raise our standards.
There have a few friends that I've had to create that boundary of like, we're not going to talk about this no more. You don't listen anyway.
Yeah, like, I'm not, like, sometimes I have friends that will, like, talk to me about, like, the same thing over and over again, and, like, in the past, I've just kind of let them, like, oh, like, maybe sometimes, like, talking it out can be very helpful, especially when you have a sounding board. I just tell me you need a sounding board, you know what I mean? I am happy to be your sounding board, just tell me. But that's definitely 100% why we shouldn't be crying over dusty men who choose not to utilize the tools in their toolbox that we've given them. If they're not going to do that, then that's fine. That's on them. I hope
this reaches some like really young girl who has yet to cry in her car over a dusty man.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what? I'm going to raise my standards enough where I don't need to cry.
You don't need to cry in your car over a dusty boy.
Oh my gosh. I think we should cut this mini episode. I don't think it's a mini episode anymore.
I know. This is such a problem with people like us with ADHD where we just start talking. Oh. But that's okay. That's what editing is for.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say that's a good wrap on this quick little episode on crying over dusty men in our cars and why we shouldn't be doing it. And how to utilize our tools in our toolbox to communicate.
Get them tools.
Invest
in those tools.
Invest in your own tools, right? So that way you don't cry over a dusty man in your car. Anyway, again, I'm your host, Christina.
And Ashley.
Thank you for coming to listen to us on our podcast, More Than Missionary. We will see you guys on the next one.